The problem isn't that he insults you. The problem is you forgive him every single time, and he knows it. How many times have you said, "If this happens again"? 5 times? 10? You've lost count, haven't you? It's always the same pattern. You fight, he calls you names, tears you down, says things that make your stomach drop. Then come the tears, his apology. Things are calm for a week, maybe 2. Then it happens again. Your friends see it. They'll say things like, "I don't know, seems like a lot." Or, "Are you sure you're okay?" And you defend him. "He's going through a lot right now." Or, "He's actually really good to me most of the time." Right, between the blow-ups. Like saying an alcoholic is great company between binges. This isn't happening because he can't control himself. It's happening because you've taught him that insulting you is acceptable. There's a psychological mechanism at work here, and you're the one who activated it. Psychologists have studied boundary violations in relationships for decades. What looks like spontaneous anger is actually testing. He's systematically checking what he can get away with. Every time you forgive him and stay, you're sending him a message. Yes, you can go further next time. Think back to that first fight. The first time he called you something cruel. What did you do? You didn't leave. You didn't pack a bag. You said words. A lot of words, probably. You told him how it made you feel. You warned him about consequences. But here's what he noticed. There weren't any consequences, just your words. Your boundaries, he learned, are just noise. Pretty speeches about lines he shouldn't cross, but he can cross them as long as he apologizes after. Be honest with yourself. What happened after that first fight? He apologized. Maybe he cried. Told you he didn't mean it. He was just stressed. Work's been crazy. You softened. You forgave him. Then you went ahead and married him. And in doing that, you handed him the most valuable piece of information he could get. Insults don't end the relationship. The word sorry works like an undo button. He can explode, say horrible things, then reset everything with an apology. You'll stay. This isn't him being some evil genius. It's just how boundary psychology works, and most people end up in this exact trap. We all test boundaries. Kids push bedtime. Employees see how late they can show up. Partners test what behavior you'll accept. And when you set a boundary but don't enforce it, the brain learns that boundary isn't real. You said the words, "if this happens again." But a boundary isn't something you announce. It's something you enforce. When someone crosses your boundary and nothing happens, you've drawn a line in sand and politely asked them not to step over it. Then you stand there confused when they're already 5 feet past it. Here's the thing that really gets me. You said he's a good person overall. Let me translate that. Between the insults, he's normal. He does the dishes sometimes, remembers your birthday, makes you laugh. But that doesn't make him good. It makes him unpredictable. There's research on this. It's called intermittent reinforcement. Same principle that keeps people feeding quarters into slot machines. When someone's behavior alternates between good and terrible, your brain becomes more attached than if they were just consistently terrible. You see him being sweet and think, "This is the real him. I just need to figure out how to keep him like this." You start analyzing your own behavior. What did I do differently on the good days? Wrong approach entirely. You don't need to do anything to not be insulted. That's not something you earn. Not insulting your partner is baseline. It's the entry fee to a relationship, not some reward you unlock. Right now, you're stuck in sunk cost fallacy. You've invested years, probably changed your last name, told everyone this was it. Your family threw you a wedding. Admitting this isn't working feels like admitting you were wrong from the start. So instead, you're searching for the magic combination of words that will finally get through to him. The right tone, the perfect moment. But he already understands. Your words are landing just fine. He just has zero reason to change. From his perspective, this system works perfectly. He gets to release his anger, you absorb it. He apologizes. Everything goes back to normal. No cost to him. You think you're communicating a problem. He's hearing, she's upset, but she'll get over it. She always does. So what do you actually do? There's only one strategy that works. Boundaries with real consequences, not threats, just clear information about what happens next and then following through. First, make a decision for yourself. Not for him, not for the marriage, just for you. Are you willing to keep being insulted? If the answer is no, then decide what happens the next time it occurs. And it will occur again. His brain is wired around this pattern now. He won't believe anything has changed until he experiences real consequences. Second, prepare a real plan. Not "I'll leave" in some vague sense. Actual logistics. I'll stay at Rebecca's apartment, or I'll book a room at the Courtyard on Miller Street. Money moved into an account only you can access. A bag packed and hidden at your sister's place or in your car trunk? Phone charger, laptop. Everything required to actually execute. Because without a concrete plan, you'll stand there not knowing where to go, and you'll stay. And staying after you said you'd leave just confirms his belief that your words are meaningless. Third, have one last conversation. Pick a calm day, both of you in a normal state. You sit down and say this clearly. The next time you insult me, I'm leaving for at least a week. I won't discuss it in the moment. I won't listen to apologies. I'll just be gone. This isn't a threat. I'm telling you what will happen. That's it. No long explanation about your feelings. He's an adult. He knows people don't insult people they love. Fourth, and this is the most important part. When it happens again, pick up your bag and go. Don't discuss it. Don't stand there listening to him beg. You leave. Once you're somewhere safe, you send one text. I told you what would happen. I'll reach out in a week. Then you don't respond for a week. Block his number if you need to. Because in that moment, you're not punishing him. You're protecting yourself. You're proving that your words mean something. This is where it gets interesting. He's going to call repeatedly, text constantly. The apologies will pour in. He'll swear this time is different. He sees it now. He's calling a therapist tomorrow. He might show up where you're staying, and you have to not go back. Not yet. You stick to your timeline. You let him sit in the discomfort of your absence. After the time you specified, then you talk. And this conversation isn't about forgiving and forgetting. This is where you watch very carefully. Has anything actually changed? Did he book that therapy appointment or just say he would? Is he taking responsibility or explaining why it wasn't really that bad? Here's the part nobody wants to hear. You don't owe him infinite chances. You don't owe him years of your life waiting for him to mature enough to treat you with basic respect. He already gets it. He just has no motivation to change as long as your boundaries stay invisible. Maybe facing real consequences will wake him up. Maybe something will click and he'll actually do the work. That does happen, but it's not guaranteed, and it's absolutely not your job to stick around finding out. Your job isn't waiting until he grows up. Your job is deciding how much damage you're willing to take while you wait. Or maybe nothing changes. Maybe he's good for 2 weeks, then it starts again. Then leaving isn't you failing at the relationship. It's you finally choosing yourself. Because here's what nobody tells you. Staying isn't always love. Sometimes staying is just abandoning yourself over and over, hoping he'll stop making you do it. Staying with someone who insults you, hoping they'll change after the 47th apology. That's not loyalty. That's not commitment. That's you negotiating with someone over your own dignity. And you shouldn't have to negotiate for that. You can keep saying, if this happens again, You can keep hoping this time the words will work. Or you can accept that boundaries without consequences are just wallpaper, and you can start acting like your words have weight. The choice has always been yours. You've just been choosing to stay silent and call it patience. So here's what I want you to ask yourself. If your best friend told you this exact story about her relationship, what would you tell her to do?